Shabbat shalom, friends. I know it's been a while since I have made a video. So it's been a very busy summer for me. It takes a lot of work to become an elementary teacher, so don't ask. I just have the praxis test to do. It's a lot, but it was, as far as I know right now, not as bad as I expected it to be. Moving on. It is almost Shabbat, and I wanted to at least post one video this summer. I might be able to post more. I don't know, but it's just been that busy. But I wanted to post a video, and I've been really wanting to read scripture and just kind of make videos about scripture. I'm not avoiding the Aleph Beits at all. I do want to get back into that at some point. But right now, I feel more motivated just to read the scripture. It's a little bit easier, a little less studying, I guess you could say. And I've had more than my fair share of studying lately. So just kind of avoid studying and just read the word. So anyways, just wanted to usher in Shabbat with you all by reading from Parashah 39, which is called Chukat in Hebrew, which means regulation. So I will be reading from chapter 19, all of chapter 19, all the way to the beginning of chapter 22. Not really going to read the whole chapter 22, but stopping at the first verse. So I wanted to read that with you guys, and yeah. So I shall start. Oh, and one quick thing. Please put in the comments what the sound quality is like for you guys, because I don't know if it's my device right now or if it might affect other devices, but please put in the comments if the sound is still too quiet for you all. So please let me know. Otherwise, for now, I'm just going to start from chapter 19 in Bamidbar, which is also known as Numbers in English. Adonai said to Moshe and Aharon, "This is the regulation from the Torah, which Adonai has commanded. Tell the people of Israel to bring you a young red female cow without fault or defect, which has never borne a yoke. You are to give it to Eleazar the Kohen. It is to be brought outside the camp and slaughtered in front of him. Eleazar the Kohen is to take some of its blood with his finger and sprinkle this blood toward the front of the tent of meeting 7 times. The heifer is to be burned to ashes before his eyes. Its skin, meat, blood, and dung is to be burned to ashes. The Kohen is to take cedar wood, hyssop, and scarlet yarn and throw them onto the heifer as it is burning up. Then the Kohen is to wash his clothes and himself in water, after which he may re-enter the camp. But the Kohen will remain unclean until evening. The person who burns up the heifer is to wash his clothes and himself in water, but he will remain unclean until evening. A man who is clean is to collect the ashes of the heifer and store them outside the camp in a clean place. They are to be kept for the community of the people of Israel, to prepare water for purification from sin. The one who collected the ashes of the heifer is to wash his clothes and be unclean until evening. For the people of Israel, for the foreigners staying with them, this will be a permanent regulation. Anyone who touches a corpse, no matter whose dead body it is, will be unclean for 7 days. He must purify himself with these ashes on the 3rd and 7th days. Then he will be clean. But if he does not purify himself the 3rd and 7th days, he will not be clean. Anyone who touches a corpse, no matter whose dead body it is, and does not purify himself, has defiled the tabernacle of Adonai. That person will be cut off from Israel, because the water for purification was not sprinkled on him. He will be unclean. His uncleanness is still on him. This is the law. When a person dies in a tent, everyone who enters the tent and everything in the tent will be unclean for 7 days. Every open container without a cover closely attached is unclean. Also, whoever is in an open field and touches a corpse, whether of someone killed by a weapon or of someone who died naturally, or the bone of a person or a grave, will be unclean for 7 days. For the unclean person, they are to take some of the ashes of the animal burned up as a purification from sin, and add them to fresh water in a container. A clean person is to take a bunch of hyssop leaves, dip it in the water, and sprinkle it on the tent, on all the containers, on the people who were there, and on the person who touched the bone, or the person killed, or the one who died naturally, or the grave. The clean person will sprinkle the unclean person on the 3rd and 7th days. On the 7th day, he will purify him. Then he will wash his clothes and himself in water, and he will be clean at evening. The person who remains unclean and does not purify himself will be cut off from the community, because he has defiled the sanctuary of Adonai. The water for purification has not been sprinkled on him. He is unclean. This is to be a permanent regulation for them. The person who sprinkles the water for purification is to wash his clothes. Whoever touches the water for purification will be unclean until evening. Anything the unclean person touches will be unclean, and anyone who touches him will be unclean until evening. Chapter 20. The people of Israel, the whole community, entered the Tzin deserts in the 1st month, and they stayed in Kadesh. There Miriam died, and there she was buried. Because the community had no water, they assembled themselves against Moshe and Aharon. The people quarreled with Moshe and said, "We wish we had died when our brothers died before Adonai. Why did you bring Adonai's community into this desert? To die there, we and our livestock? Why did you make us leave Egypt? To bring us to this terrible place without seed, figs, grapevines, pomegranates, or even water to drink?" Moshe and Aharon left the assembly, went to the entrance of the tent of meeting, and fell on their faces, and the glory of Adonai appeared to them. Adonai said to Moshe, "Take the staff, assemble the community, you and Aharon your brother, and before their eyes tell the rock to produce its water. You will bring them water out of the rock, and thus enable the community and their livestock to drink." Moshe took the staff from the presence of Adonai as he had ordered him. But after Moshe and Aharon had assembled the community in front of the rock, he said to them, "Listen here, you rebels. Are we supposed to bring you water from this rock?" Then Moshe raised his hands and hit the rock twice with his staff. Water flowed out in abundance, and the community and their livestock drank. But Adonai said to Moshe and Aharon, "Because you did not trust in me, so as to cause me to be regarded as holy by the people of Israel, you will not bring this community into the land I have given them." This is Milavah Spring, also known as Disputation Spring in English, where the people of Israel disputed with Adonai, and he was caused to be regarded as holy by them. Moshe sent messengers from Kadesh to the king of Edom. "This is what your brother Israel says. You know the troubles we have gone through, that our ancestors went down into Egypt. We lived in Egypt a long time, and the Egyptians treated us and our ancestors badly. But when we cried out to Adonai, he heard us, sent an angel, and brought us out of Egypt. Now, here we are in Kadesh, a city at the edge of your territory. Please, let us pass through your land. We will not go through fields or vineyards, and we won't drink any water from the wells. We will go along the king's highway, not turning aside either to the right or to the left, until we have left your territory. But Edom answered, You are not to pass through my lands. If you do, I will come out against you with the sword. The people of Israel replied, We will keep to the highway. If we do drink the water, either we or our livestock, we will pay for it. Just let us pass through on foot. It's nothing. But he said, You are not to pass through. And Edom came out against them with many people and much force. Thus Edom refused to allow Israel passage through its territory. So Israel turned away. They traveled on from Kadesh, and the people of Israel, the whole community, arrived at Mount Hor. At Mount Hor, by the border of the land of Edom, Adonai said to Moshe and Aharon, Aharon is about to be gathered to his people because he is not to enter the land I have given to the people of Israel, inasmuch as you rebelled against what I said at the Milvah spring. Take Aharon and Eleazar his son, bring them up to Mount Hor. Remove the garments from Aharon and put them on Eleazar his son. Aharon will be gathered to his people. He will die there. Moshe did as Adonai had ordered. They went up onto Mount Hor before the eyes of the whole community. Moshe removed the garments from Aharon and put them on Eleazar his son, and Aharon died there on the top of the mountain. Then Moshe and Eleazar came down from the mountain. When the entire community saw that Aharon was dead, they mourned Aharon 30 days, the whole house of Israel. Then the king of Arad, a Canaanite, who lived in the Negev, heard that Israel was approaching by way of Atalim. So he attacked Israel and took some of them captive. Israel made a vow to Adonai, If you will hand this people over to me, I will completely destroy their cities. Adonai listened to what Israel said and handed them over to the Canaanim, so that they completely destroyed them and their cities, and named the place Homa, which means complete destruction in English. Then they traveled from Mount Hor on the road toward the Sea of Suf, in order to go around the lands of Edom. But the people's tempers grew short because of the detour. The people spoke against God and against Moshe. Why did you bring us up out of Egypt to die in the desert? There's no real food, there's no water, and we're sick of this miserable stuff we're eating. In response, Adonai sent poisonous snakes among the people. They bit the people, and many of Israel's people died. The people came to Moshe and said, We sinned by speaking against Adonai and against you. Pray to Adonai that he rid us of these snakes. Moshe prayed for the people, and Adonai answered Moshe, Make a poisonous snake and put it on a pole. When anyone who has been bitten sees it, he will live. Moshe made a bronze snake and put it on the pole. If a snake had bitten someone, then, when he looked toward the bronze snake, he stayed alive. The people of Israel traveled on and camped at Ovot. From Ovot they traveled and camped at Yeh Ha'avarim, in the desert fronting Moab on the east. From there they traveled and camped in Wadi Zered. From there they traveled and camped on the other side of the Arnon, in the desert. This river comes out of the territory of the Emori. For the Arnon is the boundary between Moab and the Emori. This is why it says in the book of the wars of Adonai, Vahev et Sufa, the Vadis of Arnon, and the slope of the Vadis extending as far as the site of Al, which lie next to the territory of Moab. From there they went on to Be'er, which means well. That is the well about which Adonai said to Moshe, Assemble the people, and I will give them water. Then Israel sang this song, Spring up, O well, sing to the well, sunk by the princes, dug by the people's leaders, with the scepter, with their staves. From the desert they went to Matana, from Matana to Nachaliel, from Nachaliel to Bamot, from Bamot to the valley by the plain of Moab at the start of the Pisgah range, where it overlooks the desert. Israel sent messengers to Sichon, king of the Amori, with this message. Let me pass through your lands. We won't turn aside into fields or vineyards, and we won't drink any water from the wells. We will go along the king's highway until we have left your territory. But Sichon will not allow Israel to pass through his territory. Instead, Sichon mustered all his people and went out into the desert to fight Israel. On reaching Yachatz, he fought Israel. Israel defeated him by a force of arms and took control of his land from the Arnon to the Yabok River, but only as far as the people of Ammon, because the territory of the people of Ammon was well defended. Israel took all these cities. Israel lived in all the cities of the Amori, in Heshbon and all its surrounding towns. Heshbon was the city of Sichon, the king of the Amori, who had fought against the former king of Moab and conquered all his lands up to the Arnon. This is why the storytellers say, Come to Heshbon, let it be rebuilt, let Sichon's city be restored. For fire burst out of Heshbon, and flame from the city of Sichon. It consumed all of Moab, the lords of Arnon's high places. Woe to you, Moab! You are destroyed, people of Chemosh. He let his sons be fugitives and his daughters captives of Sichon, king of the Amori. We shot them down. Heshbon is destroyed, all the way to Divon. We even laid waste to Nophach, which extends as far as Midvah. Thus Israel lived in the land of the Amori. Moshe sent men to reconnoiter Yazel. They captured its towns and drove out the Amori who were there. Then they turned and went up along the road to the Bashan, and Og, the king of Bashan, marched out against them, he with all his people, to fight at Edrei. Adonai said to Moshe, Don't be afraid of him, for I have handed him over to you with all his people and his land. You will treat him just as you did Sichon, king of the Amori, who lived at Heshbon. So they struck him down with his sons and all his people until there was no one left alive, and then they took control of his land. Then the people of Israel traveled on and camped in the plains of Moab beyond the Yarden River, opposite Yericho.